Hi everyone, so this is video 3 of my tutorial art videos that I have started doing for you. Today's one is for the impossible star. So the last video we did was the impossible triangle, so now we're kind of upping the level just slightly to the impossible star. By this point you should be pros at doing gradient shading, which will come really in handy for this video as well. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Again, please stop the video at any time, rewind it. Don't feel you have to keep up with the video. Parts of it are sped up to make the video a little bit shorter for you and a bit easier for you to follow. If you have any questions, please send them my way. I'd love to know how you're getting on, if there's anything I can help with. So without further ado, here we go. This is video number 3 and this is the impossible star. So here we go. This is the impossible star that we're going to have a go at making. It's a little bit trickier than the triangle, but the same principles apply. So just follow along and hopefully you should all be able to draw this by the end of the video. So again, you will need at least 2 pencils sharpened ready to be used. It's always best to have 2 pencils when you're drawing something, just to be on the safe side. I'll use this one. You will need a rubber for this one and a ruler. Also for the outline, you can use a ink pen or a black biro, which is absolutely fine, or you can just use pencil, which is what I've done on this one and what I will be doing on this tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing a line down the middle of our page. This will help make it easier to centre our image. Again, I use the markers on the ruler to help me make sure that I keep as straight a line as possible. So I line up, say, the 0 marker with the edge of the page here, and then check that it's also straight with the marker down the bottom of the page, and this ensures that it stays as straight as I can get it. This will need to be a light line, as we are going to be rubbing it out. So now that you've got this line, you're going to draw a dot in the middle, and this is going to be the centre of our star. It will be rubbed out later, so don't do it too hard. Now we're going to do this, the lines to start forming our star. So we're going to do a line straight up and one for each of the points of the star. I like to do mine about 7 centimetres. So starting with the one that goes straight up. Again, making sure this is nice and light because we will be rubbing it out later. There's one. This part I like to just sketch the arms roughly out in the direction that they're going to go, and then use my ruler to draw the actual line. You can use a protractor for this. If you are using a protractor, I believe it's about 71 degrees on each angle. So I'm quite happy with that being where my arms go. So along each one of these, I'm going to measure 7 centimetres. Now that we're at this point, I'm going to rub out the bit here which I don't need of this line and this line here, so I don't get confused. So now what we're going to do is we're going to join this point of this line with the one opposite using our ruler. Again, making sure they're nice and light. You're going to repeat this process with all the points until you have your star shape. Okay, so this is my star outline now drawn. Don't worry if the bottom two and the top points look a little small or a bit skinny. That won't matter once we get on to the next stage. So what we're going to do now is from the end of each point, we're going to draw a little line, kind of chop off the point, so we will have a flat edge on each of our points. Okay, now that I've done this, I am going to rub out each of the points, these sections of the points, because we now don't need them, and also all the straight lines in the middle, so that I'm left with the outline and then this pentagon in the middle. Okay, now that you have your outline, you can actually go around the outside like we did with the triangle with a pen, or by pressing it down harder with your pencil to make it really defined so we don't lose where our basic outline is. So you should have a line drawing that looks like this. We are now going to draw a line from this corner down to this corner here, because then that will give us the line to help us be able to build the 3D shape. You're going to repeat this all the way around your star. So you should be left with a shape like so. Now we've got to this point, we're going to draw lines inside this pentagon. So we're going to do a line across here. Make these quite chunky because we want the middle pentagon to be as small as we can get it, because it will make the arms of the star a little bit wider. So you should end up with another star and pentagon inside here. So this is the centre of our shape, so we can go along the edge of it like we did the outside of the star, because that's now not going to change. Now that we're at this point, we're going to start forming the arms that intertwine. So we're going to start with this corner, this line here. You can go to the left or to the right. I'm going to go to the right, and we're going to draw a line from this corner here to this outside line, this line of the pentagon that we started with. We're going to then join this with the outside line. we're going to repeat this process all the way around the pentagon. Now that I've gone and joined each of the points with the outside edge, I now need to go through and draw a darker line over the edges of these points. So I'm going to start with this one here. To do this, I'm going to draw a darker line starting from here all the way to the corner. I'm going to repeat this on the next one and work my way around the star. Now that I've done this, I'm going to go through and rub out all the lines that I no longer need. Okay, now that I've rubbed out the lines, as you can see, I pressed a little bit too hard on some of them so you can still see them. But don't worry if you are also like this, as you will be shading over the top of them, which will make them disappear. So I'm just going to go back over all my lines and make sure that any areas that I'd rubbed out when removing the other lines gets replaced, so then I don't lose the outline of my shape. So now that I've got the outline of my shape, I am now going to start shading with the gradient shade that we've been using in the last two videos to make this really come to life as a 3D shape. To start this one, it's a little bit more tricky because we have more than one side that is going to have shade in the same place. So that's where it starts to get a little bit more tricky, but by now you are pros at shading, so you should find this really easy. I'm going to start with this top point here. I'm going to start from this join here. So this is going to be dark, have the darkest shade. We don't want to go too far with our dark shade because we don't want to overlap with a darker area because that will lose the contrast effect, which makes the shape look 3D. So we want our dark shade to be a smaller area than our for our darkest shade, and then start to build out with smaller sections so that we are nice and light by the time we pass the other arm of the star. And also because this point here to here is quite short, we want to be able to go from dark through to light back to dark. So if we do two bigger sections, it'll all become one colour. If at any point you feel like the lightest part of your gradient is a bit dark, you can always go over it for your rubber, gently remove some of it and go over again with a lighter shade. So now that we've done this part, we're going to do this part of the triangle tip of the star. So again, we're going to go darker, but with the difference with this part of the point is when we get to this crossover point, we are going to leave that light. We're not going to add any dark shading because that's actually the top, the piece that would be above the piece that would be getting the shadow. So we're going to start dark here and we're going to gradually get lighter, so we're nice and light over this bit and continue to be light for the rest of this point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this same process on each of the 4 other points of the star, and gradually as you go round you'll see your 3D shape start to emerge. So there you go, that is your finished star. So that's the end of your video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you were all able to accomplish the impossible star. If you didn't quite get it how you'd like it to be, then do not worry, please try again. It took me a few attempts to get the impossible star because it is a little bit more tricky. I hope you have started to feel more confident with gradient shading, which really brings all of your drawings to life and makes them more 3D. Again, like I said, the little challenge last time with the impossible triangle, if you feel confident with the impossible triangle and then also with the impossible star, why don't you try having a go of colour? You could use different colours, you could use one colour and then do the gradient with that colour. I'm really interested to see how you get on and what you come up with. Again, if there's anything you'd like to learn how to draw, please send me a message. I would love to be able to make these videos based on what you would like to learn. I hope you're enjoying it, and again, please stay safe. You're doing brilliantly. We can't wait to see you again very soon. So until the next video, see you later.